That's how the judge comes creeping into your wallet. And them lawyers, as soon as you decide you want to get divorced, that's how they do. They be like, marriage is a business, people. Let's get this straight. A lot of people think that you get married because you love someone. And I've loved a few women in my life. I've had a few women ask me to marry them. I wanted to marry a few. But I found out that these particular women, they didn't love me. They loved the thought of a family unit that they could destroy. Yeah. They loved the thought of marriage, but they didn't like the thought of being married and honest. They wanted to be married so they had something to, I don't know, give them that rush when they cheated on you. You know, one woman told me, she said, you take the fun out of cheating. I said, if you're just going to cheat on me, tell me. She said, you take the fun out of cheating. Mind you, she's 40 years old. Why are you thinking about cheating at 40? So you have to understand that, hey, what's going on, Cook? You have to understand that men too now, but I'm a man and I don't date men, I only date women. So I can't speak from a dating, you know what I'm saying? I can't speak from what other men do or what their experience has been, other than if they have told me or we heard it on the internet. But from my experience, this is what I found out. The constitution of marriage, when you really break it down, it's broken down in a business form. You go to a church and you sign a piece of paper. That piece of paper that you sign is then registered through the state. Why is the state involved in your marriage? Why does the state need to know that you are now joined by God to this individual? Because the state prospers from it in many ways. One of the biggest ways is they like to drive certain things at married couples. We know back in the 40s and 50s that they drove wedding rings as a big deal. This was done by the Dutch, who are still over in Africa digging up diamond mines. That's why all those tragedies happen over there, because the Dutch are doing it. And the banks also are divested because they pitch the happy home type of thing. They pitch to go out and buy a house. All of these things put you in debt for the rest of your life. When you marry someone, you're indebted to them for the rest of your life. Now, some of you don't understand that. Even if, okay, so the Bible reads, you married somebody, they are yours until the spouse dies. So if you go out and you sleep with somebody else, you're committing adultery. This is the word of God speaking. This is not me. Look it up in your Bible if you got issues with it. So when you think on that terms, you're like, this is for the rest of my life. I'm attached to you in some kind of way. So you have people, I mean, and then when you look at the divorce rate, which is totally ridiculous here in America, you wonder how the divorce rate got to 80%. You wonder why 51% of black women are leaving their men, and the majority of those women are cheating on their men. Now, this isn't an attack on black women, but there's some statistics that black women need to look up. This is an attack on the constitution of marriage. Marriage does not seem to be something that, well, it is an amalgamation of what it's supposed to be. So let's go back further. There was a such thing as a dowry. Most nationalities had it. The dowry is when one man will walk up to another man and say, hey, here's my daughter. I want to marry into your family. That man would have whatever that the other guy who he wanted to conjoin with, have his daughter marry off to, he would pay this man in some kind of form, whether it be sheep, hunting dogs, whatever it was, gold, cotton, whatever that he had that was a value to that man. Gotta understand, a lot of people were nomadic, and then when they were stationary, they needed things that were very valuable to them, like cows, sheep, and so on and so forth. So if this man had a daughter who was of age, we're not going to fight over what age it was. We know this was a while ago. So all of you who want to cry, those men were this, that, the third, go talk to them. Anyway, so when she came of whatever considerable marriage age to them it was, the daughter would be married off into the family. And then that family would be joined to the other family, and this way they could fight anything that came towards them, whether it was small skirmishes or whether it was all-out war. Now you have somebody who is, boom, can join you. Same thing which is illustrated in the Game of Thrones. It's the same thing. So everybody on every level was doing dowries in every continent. So you guys take that up with them. Nonetheless, there was a real benefit there. They didn't do it just to be doing it. They had a good reason to do it. It was called survival. The larger your family is, the more survival, the more survivability they had. This is why they did it. The more wealthier they were, the more they could trade with wealthier people, the more survivability your family had. Now, today, marriage is looked at for what it is. It's been bastardized, and it's been totally taken over by a system of commercialism. Valentine's Day is a bunch of nonsense. Mother's Day, Father's Day, all this other stuff. This is all days that they made up in order for the man to go out and spend more money on the woman. Valentine's Day is not for men. The woman expects you to get her something. As a matter of fact, most holidays aren't for men. I was looking on Facebook, and when Father's Day came around, the women were saying, what about Mother's Day? As if Mother's Day isn't one of the biggest holidays that there is. See, they were like, don't forget about Mother's Day. It's just like, it's not even their day. It's the Father's Day, and these women couldn't handle it. They were like, I want attention. I'm special. He's not special. The father's not special. Only the female are special, which is a bunch of hooey. It's nonsense anymore. It's just throw the father out the window. All we need is the child and the mother. On some of these shows that you're watching, the father is devalued. Uh, I was watching one of these. It wasn't. What was it? It was the something Academy. Shoot, I forgot what it was called. And they killed off the father who didn't want his wife to run off with another woman. And they killed him off, and then the two women ran off. And everything was okay because the father's gone now. He's dead. And we're all happy because the women can run off and be, whatever they are. So we don't need the father. We can just kill the father and take the child. It's a show on Netflix, something Academy, where they're superheroes or whatever. And I'm like, you people really believe Netflix is dangerous. Netflix is highly dangerous because they push a lot of things that are completely against the word of God. Completely against the word of God. So I just wanted to say, you have to understand that marriage is a business. From what I've seen, even my dad, who just passed away just recently, his wife of many years, that he raised her children, put them through college, did right by all of them. Plus he had his own kids. Man went to work at Goodyear for 36 years. He, took on her and her 5 kids, and he pretty much made it where she didn't have to work until it got to be too much for him. Then she worked as a substitute teacher, and then he'd be like, okay, I want you to stop. He just needed her to pay like a light bill or something. He worked his behind off. He really did. He worked till his legs gave out. And they got rid of him a good year, and he didn't want to leave. He was there for 36 years. Anyways, he, built an extra wing on a house where they were at, and then she wanted to move to a whole other side of the country. They moved, got her house. His legs pretty much stopped working on him. Then he was confined to a chair, and she didn't even want to visit him in the hospital. She left him. She called her children, said, come pick me up. And, boom, that was it. And the last few texts to her, he said, look, I want a divorce. She was like, that's fine, but I still get the house when you pass away, and I get your check from Goodyear. Marriage is a business. Hey, what's going on? How you doing today, Polo? Marriage is a business, people. Your wife may love you, but her love doesn't matter. What matters is you are now a ward of the state, pretty much. I don't know if I can use the word ward, but your marriage, your relationship is owned by the state. This is how come the police can show up and, do whatever, because you are part of the state system. So for all of you young guys who are in love and this young filly, gave you some sex and, you can't think past, her, bottom half, know this. The day, the minute, the millisecond she decides that she wants more excitement in her life, and some rando from work or from anywhere, some handsome strapping guy just, comes by and she decides to, knock him off in the back seat of a Chevy, her feelings have changed for you. And when you find out, she'll probably try to blame it on you. Well, you didn't look at me on Thursday or whatever. Know this. When you say, I want a divorce, you're going to lose your pension. You're going to lose your house. You're going to lose your vehicle. You think the house is in your name? Nope. If you have children, the state says that you have to provide for those children. So that wife, who's now your baby mother, is going to get paid because you were the breadwinner. So you're going to have to continually pay her, and she's going to keep knocking off Rollo, and she'll probably move him into the house. And that's just the way it's going to go. There's no law that says that she can't have a boyfriend. So he's going to come in your house, and he's going to play with your kids, and he's going to be knocking your wife down. And there's nothing you can do about it. Nothing. You will have visitation, which means now your seed, you can only see your seed on certain days, which is preposterous. And she can deny you that while you're paying her. And it gets expensive. It gets to the point where some men are sleeping in their cars. One guy, the woman left him, and so he was sleeping in his car. She set his car on fire. She took everything from him, everything. He was like, I have to go to work, and you set it on fire. And there's a video of it. She tried to blame this on the lighter. Piggy Star. She tried to blame it on a lighter. She said it was a cigarette lighter. He said cigarette lighters wouldn't do that. Well, she went to jail for that. Anyways, I'm not going to make a really long video tonight. I'm just not going to do that. But I wanted to say that, marriage is a business, you guys. So for those of you who wanted to or are thinking about getting married, just especially if you're a man and you're the breadwinner, I'm not saying don't do it. I wish I was married. And then I don't. And they say marriage is the old ball and chain. There's no doubt about it. And when I tell you can lose everything that you have, I mean every single thing that you have, your bank account, you can lose your sanity, you can lose your life. You can lose your life. Over marriage, the way marriage is set up today. Marriage is supposed to be a beautiful thing. It is not set up beautiful for the man. It's set up so the man buys a woman a ring that's $20,000 in debt. He's right there. He's in debt right there. He owes for the ring, just right off the rip. The whole wedding is stationed around the woman and how beautiful and virtuous she is, and we know when they're not. She's been getting, knocked down ever since she was 13. And now she's virtuous and wearing white. Now, I would rather a woman just come out in a, nice blue dress, regular, something she goes to the club in and say, hey, Jesus weapon, jump the broom. Like, who are we fooling here? But you got a long gown like you're something. Get out of here. It's just not like that. People used to just go and jump the broom, boom, they're married. But now the commercialism of marriage is costing the man so much money that men are actually starting to really wake up to this. Like, I'm not going to do that. And then when they don't want to spend a large amount of money on these ridiculous weddings that only last a few minutes, and then vacation, then you got to take her on vacation. When these men don't want to do this, they're going, I'm not going to marry you. I can't afford it. By the time this is all over, I'll be $50,000, $60,000 in debt. And that's not including where we have to live, eat, and all that. And the guy is trying to dig his way out of this whole time, just for this woman's feelings. A smart woman would be like, no, this is not what we're going to do. I mean, if you have $50,000, we're not going to spend it on a wedding. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to make our wedding simple. It's going to be family and friends. Get a priest, sign some papers, whatever it is. I'll get something nice. You get something nice. It'll be maybe 20 of us there. And that's it. Won't even be announced. You don't have to do the whole registry. Oh, that's another thing. Registering. You're registering so somebody can buy. It's just ridiculous. Those gifts don't go to the man. All those housewarming gifts, they don't go to the man. Just so the woman can have this elaborate kitchen. Everything is based around the woman, and this is why the man loses. Tell me one thing in marriage that the man gets other than a wife. What does he get? You can't tell me one thing in marriage that a man gets. Or you can tell me that a man has to have all of these things in order to get married. But you can't tell me one thing that that man gets other than a wife. Hey, what's going on? What's happening is, that's what the man gets. He gets the wife, and he goes in debt. And this is why a lot of men are waking up to the system. And then when a man says, hey, listen, just 10 of us, maybe a concert hall, small, not even a concert hall, a church, small church, let's do it. People get divorced and have to pay alimonies. Someone who had nothing when they got married. Yeah, they had absolutely nothing. A companion, if she's a good... No. No, we're talking about material things. Yeah, he gets a companion. Whatever, so does she. What does he get outside of that? Just her. He gets her. What else does he get in a marriage? Zilch. The woman gets showered with gifts. Showered. She doesn't buy that ring. He does. He buys both of her rings. Buys her engagement ring and he buys her wedding ring. He pays for the gown. He pays for the where it's going to be located. He pays for everything. It's her day, and he pays for vacation that they're going on a honeymoon. What does he get? A couple nights of some sex. What's he get? Why is it worth it? It's not. Then he has to go to work for the rest of his life to try to keep this woman and then eventually kids going. I ain't got nothing against the kids, but I'm just saying, if you plan on having children, you're gonna get married and you plan on having it, don't have a big wedding. Don't do it. Have a small wedding. Get an affordable ring. Do not go into debt. If you don't have it, don't put it on a credit card. If you don't have it, don't do it. Not unless you can pay that credit card off. Now, I can understand getting good credit, especially when you're married. That will help you in a fix. So you should have yourself a credit card that can at least, $5,000 to $10,000 in case of emergency. There's nothing wrong with that. What I'm saying is, don't go $20,000 in debt for a ring. Don't go $50,000 in debt for marriage. And if your woman was smart, she'd be like, no, we're not doing that. We're going to take that money and throw it into some apartments. You know what I'm saying? And take $20,000, throw it into another house. You live in one, you rent the other one out. Get yourself a duplex, let's go. Now that you got some decent credit, you can do that. Get yourself a duplex, throw 20 grand into that duplex, fix it up, boom, bam. 2 families renting out of it, now we're in there. You can go on vacation anytime. But if that woman wants you to spend all this money, leave her. Leave her. As soon as she opens up her mouth and starts talking about that, you're not going to change her mind. This is what she wants. I'm telling you, you're going to be in debt and straining for the rest of your life, and then you're going to get cheated on and left. I guarantee it. I know a woman who got married after being with him before marriage 10 years. The marriage only lasted 10 months. They got divorced. Yeah. But you know what the problem was? She was with him for 10 years. and she didn't set it up where she should have been with him for 3 to 6 months, and they would have been married. That would have been 10 years of marriage. But that's not the way she played the game. She gave him everything. She gave him everything and hung around for 10 years. And once they got married, it was like there was nothing there. There was, now it's a piece of paper. Now it's going to cost you both. You say, if you're going to get married to somebody, look, look, there are some great people out there. There are some really, really good people out there. And when you come across one, you're just like, you know what, I don't want to let this go. You should start making plans once you, get through all the rough spots and let them know what your intentions are. Within the first month, look, I'm going to want to marry someone. So if we get to dating seriously, in less than a year, I want to have this planned out. So if that's not what you're into, then, you might want to go date somebody else. Now they know. Now they know, listen, this, woman or this man is presenting it to me and gave it to me straight. If this is not where my head is at, well, I'm out of here. Just let them know, listen, this is what's going on. I'm not playing any games. Eventually, I want to be married within, 6 months to a year after dating someone. So if you're not interested in that, it's fine, Go ahead and, get on out of here, or we could just, keep it platonic. Marriage is a business. It's going to cost you. And if you're smart, you'll do it within a year. You won't wait 4 or 5 years. You won't do that because it's lost all of its luster. You just don't want to play that game. Also, I think if I get married, I'm not going to do it through the state. I just don't trust the states. I don't trust the way things are handled in court. I can't see not being able to see my child. I can't see I'm the one who's doing everything wrong and the woman is always right. It's a terrible time to be a man right now because everything that has to do with us is in question. Everything is the patriarchy and, it's bad and all the men are, all men are evil. If a man, looks at a teenager, he's trying to get with her. Although the teachers, the majority of the time who are messing with these teenagers are females. But the men are bad and the women are all good. You can't go to a park by yourself. You cannot do it. And have mercy if you have a camera. You cannot walk into a busy park by yourself. You can't. A man can't do it. Police will get called. You can't do it. Now she's alone and has been for quite some time. Truth be told, she is a real... Well, she's single for a reason. And she probably didn't pray about it before she got, into this relationship. That's another thing. If you don't involve God in your relationship, I ain't the holiest person in the world, but if you're planning on tying yourself to somebody for the rest of your life, you better get God involved in it. I'm just saying. You guys ain't got to be the most, hallelujah, la, la, la. I am a hallelujah man. I love to praise the Lord. But I'm saying, you better speak to the Creator before you tie yourself to somebody. Because, like I said, it's for the rest of your life. Even if you get married, divorced, and then married again, that first person you were married to, according to the Bible, you're still tied to. It's not a conversation you want to have with God when you're, he's trying to decide whether he's going to throw you into the abyss. It's like, I don't want to have this conversation, so I'm gonna stay with the person I'm married to. A lot of people are finding out that their spouses have double lives. And a lot of time when marriage is when it goes bad, it's over money, and you can have a whole lot of money and still mess up a marriage. I'm saying you gotta check with God before you get into it with some of these people. Now, right now, the trend where all these women have, and like I said, it's not an attack on women, but a lot of women are leaving for ridiculous reasons. And age is not on the woman's side. It's not, you guys already know my stories, my true stories, because I go into females' homes and deliver refrigerators or fix stuff, and a lot of them by themselves. And they try to get me to stay. They do. I've had offers. Come back for dinner, or I'm not dating anybody. What do you want to do? Like, I've had women on the spot ask me to date them. Why? Because they know I can fix things. I'm 6'2", I'm 285, not a small person. When they see this, they're just like, oh, my problems are solved. They're like, this guy can reach the top of the shelf like it's nothing. This guy move, like I move refrigerators. Like they seem like, eh. Yeah, they're like, yeah, come on, let's go. Me and you. And I'm like, nah, I'm not going to do this. So I'm just letting you guys know, marriage is, you become a ward of the state. You belong to the state when you get married. Like you belong to the state. You have to do whatever the state says. You can only listen to this song for so long. You have to do whatever the state says. If that woman makes a complaint about you, and the police are called, guess who's going to jail? And because now it's believe all women, they don't have to see any marks or anything on her. There have been plenty of men who've gone to prison. Not jail. There's a difference. Jail is a state, prison is federal. They've gone to prison. Come to find out that the woman was lying. Also, child support. If you don't pay your child support, child support runs through the state too. How did child support get through the state? Because a bunch of men weren't paying their child support. Now child support takes over. Child support takes part of the money that you sent to your child. They're making money off of your demise. I'm just saying it's ugly out here. You guys need to wake up. For you women, the numbers are being fed to us. The numbers are being fed to us on a daily, how females are at a disadvantage because there are so many of you, and there are so the men, there are less and less men. And like I said, I've talked about this over and over and over again. But just to reiterate, time is not on your side, and the availability for marriage is becoming less and less. Now, I also want to say this. I saw a video. There's a video that's going around where there is a guy trying to get a good song there. Well, this guy he went to Thailand. Great topic. Glad I tuned in. Thanks so much. You're welcome. This guy went to Thailand. Black man. Now you got to understand, there's like 2 million more black men, black women than there are black men. So this guy goes to Thailand and he works in the music industry, so he doesn't have to have a regular 9 to 5. He can just set his desk up and then boom, he's working. And next thing you know, he meets this 30-something-year-old Thailand woman, nice looking, um, and he's noticing that all these women are pretty much trying to get to know him, but he chose the one. And when he chose her, he didn't know what to expect. He's just being nice to her, she's being nice to him. But he was like, she's super nice. You know what I mean? And a lot of them were. A lot of them are super nice. And he looked around, he was like, there are a lot of men who are foreigners, who are with these women. And he started vlogging it, put it on YouTube, and he has a nice little spot out there, and she lives with him, and he started vlogging the things that she was doing because he couldn't believe it. He's like I can't believe this. He's like, this woman is cooking for me, and I didn't even ask her to. Like, I did not ask her to do this. She noticed the things that interest him, like what he likes to do. Like, he likes to golf. Next thing you know, she's like, I'll golf. And being that he's black, he had mentioned that he's used to dark women because, he likes, let's face it, he likes African women. He likes African American women. That's what he really wanted. But he couldn't get one because they think that people like him and I are cornballs. So we're not interesting because we just want to have a nice, even killed home. We don't want to fight. We don't want violence and all that. We don't got tattoos and all that other stuff. And he's like me. He's just like, I just want to survive out here. So, it's not sexy to a lot of American women. They want the excitement, or they'll just go ahead and, about the way, or they'll keep you around because you're affectionate, and then they'll, do whatever dirt outside of that, and eventually you find out what's going on. Well, he's like, well, this woman is the complete opposite of what the American women are doing, the African American women. He's like, I didn't ask her to cook. She does it. I don't ask her to clean. She just does it. She lets me, the work that I have to do. She doesn't bother me at all. Once I start working, she doesn't bother me at all. She'll bring me something to eat. That's it. She'll go on about her way in a room or something and do whatever. When he's playing his video game, she'll come out and start playing with him, with the VR thing. She'll kind of get all into it. She started learning how to box, with how to golf. But the thing that really got me is when he started talking about African American women and how he likes darkness. You know what this woman did? She went outside and started tanning. She's like, oh, that's what you like, darker women? Gotcha. Went out in the sun, threw a bathing suit on, boom. Right there in the sun. She's like, I'm going to get dark because this is what you want. And he says, like, these women in the Philippines and Thailand and all these places, they're all like this. Not they're all like this, but there's a bunch of them who are looking for, not necessarily American men, but they're just looking for husbands, because they know. And then they have this one woman who's, I think she's from the Philippines. She was actually doing some of the narration on another video, and she was saying, listen, we all know that there are younger versions of us rolling, right out of high school every day. She's like, we know this. We know that we outnumber the men. We are well aware we outnumber the men. They know this. Like, they're not. You don't get a whole lot of fight out of them to do some simple stuff as long as you take care of them. If you're kicking their ass, they're going to kick your ass. If you're cursing them out, they're going to curse you out. Let's just be for real. This is not a bunch of wimpy women we're talking about. And not to mention, if you commit a crime down there, good luck to you, because they're going to throw you in a horrible prison. Horrible prison. And if you don't know anybody there, you're going to starve to death. And I mean that literally. So yeah, it's not the place you want to go down there and play. And if you disrespect anybody down there, sometimes you might disrespect somebody because you don't know the culture. You don't even know what happened. The police will come and they will have you extradited back to the USA. You'll be like, what did I do? Well, you shook somebody's hand like this. You should have shook it like this. I mean, it's just some culture things you don't know. You know, you might have did like this, and this means F you. Or nanu nanu means that I'm trying to tell you. But nonetheless, the point is there's millions and millions and millions of single women who don't care that you're fat. Look at that 90-day fiance. Where'd she come from? Look at Ed. Look at Ed. I mean, he was just as regular, everyday dude as he gets. She wasn't bad looking. She wasn't bad looking at all. So I'm just saying, there are women out there who are laughing at the American female. And I'm not talking about just black women. I'm talking about white, black. We're not really talking about Latino because we know that they marry. And they have huge families. And they really honor their family. So we're not talking about Latino, even though they got their divorce issues, but most of the time, you know, their divorce numbers aren't as high as black women's. But they are really, these women are like, come to Thailand, come to the Philippines. We'll take you, black men. You know, we'll take you. And she was even responding to women who was saying things in the comments like, oh, she's his slave. And she was like, no, I'm not. She's like, listen, I have a black man on my arm. I have a brother on my arm, and you don't. So I don't know what to tell you. Like, they're very aware of our situation here. And so you have, and also in Brazil, Brazilian women, woo, it's just a lot of women. So you have these other countries who see what's going on. And they can look up what's happening to you through websites and look at the court system, and they can look at the divorce numbers. They can look at pretty much anything about your divorce. Most divorces aren't really that private, you know, and they can see who got what. And, you know, they see a lot of men who have been completely torn asunder by divorce. And, you know, it's such an epidemic now here in the United States that you have other countries who are trying to capitalize on it. Look, Russia has 10 million women that don't have nobody to marry. There are organizations now who are saying this is why you should marry a woman from, you know, Kiev. This is why you should marry a Russian woman. Like, I'm like, why is all this popping up? This is why. Because these women are like, like, I'm 25 and I'm hitting the wall. I mean, this is their thought. They're like, nope, I got to get out here and do something. I got to go. And listen, when you see a younger version of you who is not tainted, who has a great outlook on life, she's got, you know, she doesn't have the scars that you have in and out. She doesn't have the body count that you have. And she's got herself a whole plan or whatever. And she's put to freaking gather. When you see this on a constant basis, you're like, I got to get my act together. See, over here in America, when they look at, you know, these young girls coming out of high school at 18, which means you can marry them, you know, you can date them and marry them. When these older women see them, they get mad at them. Over in these other countries, that's not what they do. They're like, I need to get myself together. Now, of course, there's some jealousy because you can't go back in time. But you find a lot of these young girls, they find themselves getting neglected by even women in their family, the mothers and the aunts and stuff like that, because now the men are no longer interested in the mothers and the aunts. I've had that happen to me. One woman was interested in me. I really didn't know that, but I was interested in her daughter because her daughter was of age. You know what I'm saying? Her daughter was of age. So I'm just like, your daughter's kind of cute, but you, not so much. She was pissed off. I don't know what to tell you. Your daughter's of age. So yeah, we're gonna look. It's not illegal for me to say something to her when she's, of age. What do you want to do? You know what I'm saying? So you're having a lot of mothers who are struggling with that because the mistakes they made in the past are coming to bite them. They're still single, and they don't want to be single anymore. And listen, some of these women, are tough as nails. They're like security guards, police, all that. Well, you know what? They still get lonely. They still find they're like, look, I need a man. And they're not going, I'm just forget a man. No, they're finding themselves at home in shedding all the toughness and going, I'm a whole woman over here. Like I'm a whole 100% woman. I need to do something about this. Next thing you know, they're on Bumble. They're on Tinder with a smile and makeup on. Like it look completely different. Like, wait, is that you? Yeah, because it's just like, shoot, I'm tired of being tough. Like, yeah, I'm tough, whatever. I got a Glock 9. Okay, fine, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I need a man like up in here. I need man things done. And for the women who are young, and 26, 27, and they're not figuring this out, they're gonna hit 32, 33, tomorrow, and they're going to be mad as fire. Because let me tell you something. I'm in my 50s. I'm 54 years old. I have been approached, I've had the opportunity to date a couple women from the 40s on up. And once I get a glimpse into some of these women and the way they are, I start figuring out that they're not for me. When I do that, I don't play games with you. I'm pretty much direct. I'm like what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Do you just want to be friends? And they're just like, yeah, I just want to be friends. I'm out. That's it. I'm not gonna call you and pursue you and I don't waste my time doing that. I just don't. If you just want to go out every now and then, every blue moon, like once a month, I need some female company, okay. Just to go and get something to eat, I don't see nothing wrong with that. It's not a big deal. But to pursue you, to, hey, what are you doing? And to actively, don't waste my time. Now, if you was 25 and had some interest, I might break myself to call you maybe once a week. Not gonna be too much because I know you're not gonna, But if you're like 25 and like coming at me, that's completely different. It's completely different. But if you're 50 and you're coming at me, I'll talk to you. But I'm not gonna break myself to try to get next to a 50-year-old woman. I'm just not. And that's the way most men are. You 25, firm and fully packed. Hell, I might get on a plane for you. I might be like, okay, boom. You know what I'm saying? Especially if there's some real interest there. Yeah, you might hop a plane, but you clowning around and you in your high 40s, I'm not going to break myself here. So just to let you guys know, marriage is a business, And be careful who you're getting involved with. Everybody's got games out there. If you guys are just looking for sex, there's ways to handle that. I mean, there's ways to handle that from, I'm not going to tell you what to do with your sex life. Because if you're young, you got needs. I get it. But don't let your, sex drive destroy you. And I'm saying that to say this. Once you get up inside a woman, not to be graphic, but once you get in there, you're almost surprised. It's like, wait up. Whoa, this is happening. You're doing your thing. You feel one way when you did all that work to get in there. And then when you're done, you get up out of there and you feel a whole different way. And if you're looking at that person like, why did I do this? Don't try to be, or if she's looking at you like, why did we do this? For one, don't go back. You shouldn't be doing that anyway, but don't go back. But don't try to make that something it isn't. Don't look at her, posterior and go, dang, she got a fade. It's not for you to. Don't look at the benefits like she got me right. I'm telling you now, it's gonna crash and burn. It is. It is. A lot of us, like women, like shiny things. Men we like, boobs and butt. This is what we like. But a lot of us are being deceived by a woman's physical, attributes. And especially when it comes to that 8 seconds, that 8 seconds makes a whole hell of a lot of difference because you look at the woman completely different once you bust. And it's just the way it is, ladies. Once a man, boom, he looks at you. He really starts to study you either. He does. This is why some of you ladies get ghosted. I mean, he doesn't, look, if your house isn't atrocious and he walks in your house for the first time, he's usually not going to say too much about what he doesn't like about your house. Why? Because he thinks he's going to get that 8 seconds of pleasure. And that's just the truth. If it's not too terrible, he thinks he's going to get that. I'm telling you, I've done it. He thinks he's going to get that 8 seconds of pleasure. And after he gets it, your house looks totally different to him. Everything that's wrong with your house, he notices. Everything. There's a good chance he's going to leave quickly. He's going to be like, yeah, I got to go. It'll be 2 a.m. He lives on the other side of town. He's still leaving. Don't go back to him. It's a wrap. It didn't work. Just trying to tell you, ladies, something about you that just didn't work. And it could be some good sex. You can have some good sex, but it just be with the wrong person. So you got to watch that. And for one, you shouldn't be doing that anyway. But I'm just saying, there's a lot of judgment going on after you get out of bed with someone. It just is. There's a whole lot of judgment going on after you get out of bed with someone. And you, your mind changes. A man's mind, like women think they have a monopoly on them. I changed my mind. No, you don't understand. Once we do that, our mind changes. It does. We make decisions on what you are to us once that happens. That 8 seconds is over. We've made a decision while we're still inside of you. And that is the honest to God's truth. We have decided whether we're going to let you come back or not, or whether we're going to come back or not, and what we're going to be in this relationship. That decision has been made. When that man hits it, boom, he's just made a decision. And a lot of times you can tell what his decision is when he rolls over. If he rolls over and he doesn't want to talk to you, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. I'm telling you. Rolls over and starts reaching for his clothes, it's a wrap. All you're going to be is that. Some of you women are okay with that, but I'm telling you, you're wasting your God-given gift. Now, I ain't the one to preach to the choir because I used to be a hoe. But there's a danger in that. And, you know, one day I was hoeing it up, having a good time. And the Lord said, you better not do that again. And I heard it just as clear as day. Next thing you know, all my hoes was gone. I thought my phone was broke. Nobody wanted to talk to me. Even when I seen them in the street, they didn't say anything to me. I was pissed off because I was still horny and wanted to, you know, sleep with them girls. It's an act of God. And I had to face it. I said, okay, it is what it is. But that's what it was. I was doing my thing. I was having a good time. He made it very clear. He said, you better stop what you're doing. No, his words were, you better not do that again. I said, all right. And that was it. I didn't do it again. So, you know, and there's a consequence because those spirits stay on you. You got to fight those spirits off now. I still have dreams of some of those women because I'm not, you know, screwing anyone. So, you know, my body still wants to be active, but, you know, those spirits are still trying to go out and do this or try to contact this person. Those women are all gone. They don't want nothing to do with me. Even when they do see me, they don't want to talk to me. They want nothing to do with me. But that's that spirit trying to get you back into that life. So I'm telling you right now, if you got a lot of women or you women, you got a lot of men, and you think you're doing something, all you're doing is spinning your wheels. And it's going to come back to bite you. You better stop it. It'll bite you in a terrible way, too, because you can't go back in time. So when you finally decide you want to be with somebody, you can't because you don't trust anyone. You don't know how to be a wife. You don't know how to be a husband. You're going to be mad at yourself. You'll be thinking that God's punishing you. He probably is. Probably is. Because you decided to be, you know, a little horny toad and just let anybody have you, and your body was not made for that. Like I said, I'm not preaching to anybody, but I'm telling you, as somebody in their 50s, what happened to me when I decided to, you know, just go out and do what the hell I wanted to do. Because, you know, they were beautiful and I was by myself. So I was like, hey, I'm going to, you know, they wanted some loving, and I was like, sure, let's go. Because loneliness is tough, especially when you're in your 30s and you're fit, and you're all that other good stuff. It's tough. It's tough to say something no to a woman who's 6'1". Look like something that came right out of a magazine. I'm looking at this woman like, she was like, yeah, let's have sex. I used to be a local, like people would ask me to model for them because I would run a lot. I had an 8-pack and all this other stuff. So they would ask me to do modeling gigs. So seeing beautiful women was nothing. Even the Ebony models, when they came into town, I would go to the Ebony model thing and, talk to some of those women that were gorgeous. They're horny just like everybody else. Nonetheless, this woman I'm talking about wasn't an Ebony model, but she could have easily been one. I'm saying I know that I'm an average looking guy. So whenever I came across that, she was like, yeah, let's get busy, which wasn't my plan. I was almost dumbfounded. I was like, wait, what? She was like, yeah, let's do it. It was wrong. I shouldn't have done it. But I was looking at her and I'm looking at my broke average self. And I'm going, fine. I ain't got no money. I'm an average looking guy. I wasn't going to say no. I said yes. And I came across a few women who were either in a modeling game or used to be a model. One girl was on a cover of, back when she was in high school. She was on the cover of 17. Because I told her, I said, you're a very good looking woman. She was like, yeah, when I was younger, I was on the cover of 17. You think I'm going to tell her no? I ain't tell that girl no. This is, like I said, this is a different woman. No. She was a gym rat, too. The body on that girl was ridiculous. I used to stare at her and just, like, what is this? One day the Lord said, you better stop. He warned me. He warned both of us. It was like, you better stop. That next day she called me. She said, okay, we need to stop because I just had a bad dream. I did too. That was the Lord talking to both of us. She called me and said she had a bad dream. And, I had a bad dream too. The Lord sent us both to hell. She was drowning in saliva. He sent, in my dream, her and I were, running down the street during the day. It looked like an overcast, but there was no rain. And there were these huge trees. And we're running down the street going where I don't know, but I noticed that on the top of all the trees are all black. And, we kept running, and there's just miles of trees, and we're just running, and I'm looking up, and then we both started looking up because we noticed that whatever was on the top of these trees were moving. They were huge spiders. And I don't mean like this big spiders. I mean, they were the size of like a Volkswagen. They were covering the top of the trees, like there'd be like 2 or 3 sitting up there, covering these huge trees. It was ridiculous. I was like, okay. I woke up and was scared as hell. You know what I'm saying? God better watch it. And I missed that girl too. But the Lord said, cut it out. He separated us. But you guys got to understand, marriage, that's another thing. If you're married to somebody, or if you're messing with somebody who's married, you better cut that out. That person doesn't belong to you. This is a warning. You don't want to find yourself running down the street in hell and a bunch of spiders getting ready to eat you. That stuff was real. Whatever dimension he sent us to, people are really suffering like that. It's terrible. So you better watch that. And married, for some reason, married people, especially women, are the horniest people on earth. And they want to do the nastiest, most profane things that can ever happen. It's like they're starving and they haven't eaten for 30 days. It's ridiculous. They want to do the most insane things, but they don't want to do it with their husbands. They want to do it to some random guy. I used to be the random guy trying to figure out, why are you like this? Made me afraid of marriage. Like I said, if I wouldn't have those experiences, I wouldn't know some of this stuff. This is making me very leery of marriage, even though I think I should be married. I'm just saying this is why being a little hoe is not a good thing. Because of the experiences that you have and the spirits that jump on you have now made you insecure. And they have now warped your mind to think that every person, every guy is like this. Every woman is like this. And it's just not true. I know some very good sanctimonial women. Damn good sanctimonial women. Hell, I grew up with some of them. knew a whole church full of them. They were all saintly. They're horny too. They were saintly. They chose a man, and that was that. But everything they was gonna do, they did it with him. Ran off and got married to him. Some okie doke dude. Regular okie dokes, no big time drug dealers, just regular going to work in a factory dudes. They're just like, yeah, I'm your woman. Let's go. Wasn't no big blown out, goofy wedding. Wasn't none of that. Little small church. Got married, boom, started having kids. That was it. Just a regular okie doke guy who went to work every day, went to church. That's all they wanted. Boom, that's what they got. So not everyone is a, strumpet whore. It's just that there are a lot of strumpet whores out there, and the world is telling them it's okay to be a whore. And the world is lying to you. You're going to burn in the devil's hell. And it's not going to be good. And all this, even today, the Lord has been getting on me about going on Tumblr and looking at all the, women on Tumblr. I scroll through the pictures. The Lord is like, no, don't do that. So I got to give that up too. It's hard being alone, and you used to have all these females, and now you don't get no attention. All the females are gone. So then you start looking on the internet, and then the spirits in the internet are coming at you and messing with your mind and telling you all this stuff. They'll mess you up too, because now you're addicted to porn or Tumblr or some other, wherever you can, get your thing off, and you think it's okay, and it's not, because now you have a bunch of spirits that are talking to you and messing with your head, and they're telling you lies. They're just lying to you. Just oh, this woman would like you. Oh, look at this body part. They're just lying to you. These devils are just lying to you. Just telling you guys. I know this is not a sexy topic, but as somebody who's been through a lot when it comes to females, I've seen a lot. I've seen the most. You think this woman was a trusted. I've seen school teachers that are just, you wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe that this woman is a school teacher. You just wouldn't believe it. You just be like, no, not her. You wouldn't believe, some of the things the females have done, it just racks your whole mind. But now you got to get to a space where you have to know that not every woman is like that. Some women actually do fear God. You got to understand, the reason why I talk about women so much is because it doesn't take much for a woman to get into trouble. And she doesn't even have to sleep with anybody. She just has to walk outside looking just any old kind of way. She can have on a potato sack, and there's some guy who wants to sleep with her. But the way America is leaving God out of everything, women are running around in bikini underwear, like boy shorts up the rears, and saying, hey, you shouldn't look at me in a certain way. And, camel toe here. And these women, they're going to get judged for that. Like, this is not what you should be doing. A woman should dress modestly according to the scriptures. And the reason why you shouldn't be showing your bodies like that is because even though somebody might not say something to you, some guy has looked at you and lusted at you. And you know this is what he's going to do. You want to be at the gym with all those tights on? Some guy is staring at you, wishing that he could, get you right there. He's wishing that he could walk right up to you and just boom, right there. Because that's how men are. It's just the truth. It's just the blatant truth. Any guys who says that they're not like that or haven't thought about that is a damn lie. It's a lie. Because they know they have. you women know this. You know that your derriere is a target. When you're out there doing all that bending over and all that other goofy stuff you women do, and then trying to make us not be men and shame us for looking at you, it's just like you women are guilty. You're guilty. You know what you're doing. You know what you're perpetuating. You women are going to the beach in a string thong. You're guilty. A lot of you are going to get judged for that. You ladies got to understand, listen, you can walk outside in just a church dress, and there's some guy who's going to be like, as a matter of fact, I think some of those dresses are hot. I ain't going to lie. I'm not going, especially if it's a summer dress. It's lights out for me. I'm going to stare at you, huh? Say what you want. Why are you looking at me? You have a summer dress on. Damn. I don't know what else to tell you. I looked. All right, I'm out. So I'm just telling you guys, be careful. If you're gonna get married, make sure you understand that marriage is a business. Don't go sticking your winky into something you're not supposed to. Ladies, put on some clothes. We already want to sleep with you. You don't have to accentuate your body parts for a man to want to sleep with you. You're getting attention the wrong way. You're getting the wrong attention. And eventually you're going to hit 40. And all that body parts everywhere, you're going to be known for being a hoe. Not to mention, no man in his right mind wants to marry somebody who's always got their body parts out. Make yourself special. And people will look at you like that. You know what I'm saying? Guys, if you're sleeping with a bunch of women, you're not special. Sorry, you're not. Women, if your, tatas are out, your booty's out, you're not special. Everybody can see it. If you're going to go to the gym, wear a pair of, just regular gym pants. Wear something that covers your body. You'll be all right. The guy who chooses you is going to look at that. He's going to be like, I like the fact that you're covered up. And whenever you two, start dating, he's going to think he's got something special. You know what I'm saying? And then once you guys, tie the knot, jump the broom, and, you look absolutely great naked, he's going to do? He's going to get you whatever you want. Because he knows he's the only one seeing that. I'm just telling you how it works. You want a guy to get you whatever you want? Cover your body. Act like a lady. If you want something out of a man, act like him. Just try it on. Just stop cursing. Stop being loud. Start talking soft. Make sure your skin is soft. You smell good. Hit the gym. You know what I'm saying? Just be a lady. Just be a smart woman. And I'm telling you, you're going to attract a whole different type of guy. Even if you like a bad boy, listen, we get that. Some of us got our bad sides. Some of us don't slap somebody before. I mean, it is what it is. But you got to understand, the type of guy that you're going to get, everybody sees you with, that guy actually marks you. Because other guys see who you're with, and we think this is what you like. So if you want a guy who's tatted up in the streets, once you're done with that guy, the regular dude, it's going to be hard to get him. Because he knows you have that street energy about you. Now, I done had a woman from the streets. She wanted to be with me, and she already knew what it was. She said, "You don't trust me, do you?" No. Yeah, I know what you are. I know where you come from. I already know what it is. I can't match that energy. I'm not from the streets. So I'm just saying, if you go that route, ladies, everybody sees you. They know who you're running around with. When you stop running around with that guy, it's gonna take you're gonna have to get that energy away from you in order to get a regular guy. Just a stable everyday dude. I'm just warning you. Watch who you let between your legs, ladies. Because that spirit jumps off of them and it jumps onto you and it sticks with you. You open up your legs to a man, whatever spirit that's in that man has now jumped onto you. And sometimes you don't even have to open your legs to them. You just hang around. Listen, when you hang around a certain type of people, you start acting like them. You want to know why? Because the spirit that's around those people is now jumped onto you. And if you have sex, it's sexually. Spirits transform faster with sex. It's just the truth. I mean, if you don't believe me, just think about the last person you had sex with and what you were like before you met them and what you're like now. Think about that. Think about the last time you had sex with somebody and while you were having sex with them, what they were saying to you. Now that's interesting. Think about the first time you had sex with that person. What did they say to you while they were having sex with you? Did any of them say anything that surprised you? Did they say something to you that was like, what? What did you just say? Did some woman start spouting nonsense? Like, huh? Or did some guy, start talking about tying you up in the basement? Just think, the last person you had sex with, what did they say to you? As soon as you guys got together, you're in bed, you're doing a horizontal bob, boom, somebody opened their mouth and said something. Whatever they said did not come from them. It came from the spirit that's inside of them. And it's a good chance that that spirit is now in you. If you can't identify it, look at what has changed ever since you slept with that person. Do you act different than what you did before? If you do, that's a spirit that's inside of you. Do you say things that are different? Do you curse now and you didn't curse before? Do you drink now and you didn't drink before? If you did, that spirit jumped in you from another person through sex. Are you more angry now than you were before? Do you want to have sex more now than you did before? Are you doing sexual things now that you never thought about doing, but this person talked you into doing it? I never thought about doing a threesome. All of a sudden, this guy's got you doing threesomes back to back. What happened? What happened was the spirit that's in him jumped in you, and you agreed with that spirit, and now that spirit is using your body to do whatever that other spirit told him to do. Whatever, yeah. And then those spirits are bound together. So now you're drinking and smoking. So now you're cursing and fighting. So now you're having illicit sex with other people because you think it's okay. I don't know. Am I wrong? You guys aren't saying anything. I'll get no response. I might be wrong. I could be wrong. I could be just talking, or it could have just happened to be. Could could be just me. You guys are not like me. Never happened to you guys. Just happened. Okay. There's something that just happened to me then. That's cool. It just happened to me. I'm the only person that this has happened to. Yeah, I don't think so. This happened to a lot of us. I remember the last time it happened to me. I was like, why am I thinking like this? Or you start having dreams. Spirits speak to you in dreams. So you start having these crazy dreams and you want to know where they came from. I remember one time my nieces, and my brother came to visit me. And my nieces, they were in here playing with my iPad while my brother was downstairs sleeping. I was in the room knocked out. I go to bed early. But they were teenagers, so they stay up and do whatever. They're on my iPad and, watching whatever. So the next day, they get up, and they leave. I had a horrible dream that night. Horrible dream. Some spirit was chasing me. Scared the crap out of me because it was so real. I got up and I called them and I said, let me speak to, the girls. And I said, which one of you was watching porn? And he was like, we were just watching it when they was watching gay porn on my iPad. And that spirit came right off of that pornography and jumped right on me while I was sleeping. Scared the hell out of me. And I was yelling at them. I said, don't you ever watch that again. Don't you ever, ever, ever do that. I said, you're not gay, for one. Two, those spirits, and I told them, I said, those spirits that are in there, they're not playing with you. They'll come for you and they'll get you. Don't watch that stuff, So, yeah, it's another thing. Now, we don't all watch some porn before, but spirits travel through pornography. Spirits travel through your phone. They travel through your radio. But if you start having bad dreams after watching something, don't watch it again. Now, like I said, you guys aren't saying anything, so it's just me talking. And this might not happen to you, but I'm telling you, if it does happen to you, it's something that you're watching. So if you're, you turn on something and it's got women jiggling around, half naked, and then the next thing you know, you fall asleep, and there's some spirit that is chasing you, you wake up and you're, you jump out of bed because you think that there's some spirit. Yeah. That's what happened. Watch the people you hang around. The people you hang around are thieves, that spirit's going to jump on you. If the spirits you hang around are mean as hell, if they're screwing everything that moves, it's going to happen to you. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and go since you guys aren't talking. And, yeah, you guys have a good evening. Peace. God loves you.